Hey guys, Nina here, welcoming you to another reading from the Ladies of Horror Picture Prompt Monthly Challenge, hosted by Elaine Pascale on her channel, The Godmother of Horror. If you'd like to read along or read previously published pieces, please visit spreadingthewritersword.com or ladiesofhorror.com. In the meanwhile, enjoy the reading.
The Last Bloom by Kathleen McCluskey. They had been told that the roses were a blessing. That was the lie that kept the monks from running. Brother Allard learned the truth the first night he was led beneath the abbey, down past the wine stores and the bone crypts, into the chamber where the air never moved and the candles burned low and sickly. The chest sat in the center of it, iron-bound and swollen with age, its lock thick and as black as a clot of dried blood. Upon it rested the roses, pale, red-edged, and heavy with dew that never dripped. He had leaned closer then, drawn by their scent, not floral, metallic, sweet and wrong. Something inside the chest shifted, not a thud, not a stir, but a response to him getting close. The abbot struck him hard enough to split his lip. "Do not invite it in," the old man hissed, dragging him back. "It listens." Years passed. The abbot rotted in his grave, yet the duty remained. The roses must be fed. That was the only command that mattered. Blood had to be poured at the roots hidden beneath the blooms. Names spoken, prayers muttered through clenched teeth. The offering had once been plentiful. Bandits, heretics, prisoners dragged from distant wars. But time thinned everything. Villages emptied, cells went quiet, chains rusted in place. Still the chest endured. Still it listened. But lately, it had begun to speak. At first it was nothing more than a murmur, something that escaped between breaths, too faint to grasp. Then came the scratching, slow, thoughtful, tracing the inner walls as if hunting for weakness. Allard had tried to ignore it, bury it beneath prayer, but prayer did not silence it. Nothing did, because it was not trying to escape, it was waiting, testing. Tonight they gave the last sacrifice. It was all they could find. The boy sobbed until his voice broke, until it dissolved into dry animal sounds that echoed off the stone. Allard did not look at his face as the blade was drawn. He focused instead on the basin, on the ritual, on the containment, on the roses. Always the roses. When the blood touched them, they shuddered. Every petal tightened, then spread again, drinking with slow, obscene eagerness. The dew upon them thickened, darkened, and ran along the thin lines of the chest like diluted wine. For a moment, just a moment, the chamber felt still, satisfied. Then the last drop fell. Something inside the chest exhaled, a long, low sound that dragged across the wood like a breath through broken teeth. The roses did not brighten. They sagged. Allard felt it in his bones, a hollow uncertainty that sank deeper than fear. Not enough. The other fled above, their prayers rising into the chapel in trembling waves. Allard remained. Someone had to, because someone had to see what happened when the roses finally failed. The chamber grew heavy with a sweet, rotting scent. The petals continued to curl, to loosen. Then came the scratching. It was soft at first, a single point along the inner lid, then another, and another, then many. Not frantic, not wild, careful, testing. The scratching moved with growing certainty, and a low, buried growl thickened beneath it, vibrating through the stone and into Allard's bones. Above, the monk's hymns faltered as more petals fell. The scratching stopped. A slow, wet breath slid from the cracks in the chest, lingering in the air as if tasting it. tasting him before sinking back into silence. The last petal fell. The chest split open with a sharp internal crack, the iron bands bending as the lid jerked upward enough to break the seal. In that instant, the singing upstairs stopped abruptly, cut off with an unnatural finality. Something shifted in the darkness within, turning with deliberate slowness until it faced him. The blackness deepened, then focused. Two red eyes opened, wide and unblinking. They fixed on Allard with a suffocating, ancient awareness that stripped him where he stood. He felt the moment it found him. His skin tightened and split. Fire belched and fractures spread as his body collapsed inward with sound, breaking apart into a fine gray dust that spilled across the stone. The eyes watched the dust settle. A long, pale, clawed hand slowly emerged over the top of the box. Its fingers flexed as though remembering how to touch the world again.